Good sunrise. Well, good afternoon because it's afternoon time. Positive vibrations and happy hump day. It is the halfway mark through the week. Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Chief Papa back with y'all again. I wanted to talk with y'all about the corporate workforce, corporate programming, emotional vulnerability, and dealing with the idiosyncrasies of coworkers. Psychology, because that's one of the big adult field personal studies that I am engaging in every day, every time I go into the corporate workforce. Now, here's the experience that I've experienced and how I respond to said behavior. What do you want to know? One thing I do know, one direct behavior of an adult, adult of whom you know is emotionally vulnerable. That means, when I say emotionally vulnerable, I mean that whatever you do, they react to it. Or they react favorably or unfavorably, but they react to you. Or, yes, they react to you because you influence them, basically. That's what vulnerability is. That's what emotional vulnerability is. You having to react off of other people's behavior. And here's one of the main emotional vulnerability behaviors that adults have. I know with me that adults cannot and will not, 9 times out of 10, will not take an imperative from me. They do not like being told a command. In the nicest manner that I do it, if it's a command, that individual, that grown adult, will not do it because they're being influenced what to do. They're being told what to do, and it's just this deal with adults nowadays that I don't have to listen to you commanding me what to do, no matter how nice of that command is. If it's a command, you want to run me, and I don't like being ran. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Miss Adult Peer. You unwillingly not wanting to take an imperative is a contemptuous emotional vulnerability. Why? For individuals like me that gotta keep consciously above the corporate programming, that only goes to show that I can influence you by other means and you'll do them. That's a chink in your armor. That's something that I have influence over you. Your non-action showed me that I have influence over you. Yes, non-action is also action, people. So if people, don't do what you ask of them to do, that just only goes to show that they are susceptible to your influence because they don't want to do what you ask them to do. Yes. This is the game nowadays. This is the game nowadays that you got to deal with adults. You got to see behavior behind behavior, behind behavior, behind behavior, behind subconscious behavior. That's how you got to see adults now. You can't be checkers minded with grown adults nowadays on the corporate grind in the corporate workforce. You got to be chess minded. You got to see what play if you play, how many moves behind it. You don't have to see that many moves behind it, but just about 2 or 3 at the most. But you also know what you can do with people and what you can't do with people. And really, you can do everything with people. You just got to either speak it or act it. And non-action is action. Don't think that your non-action is not being looked at. See, a lot of people think that non-action, that's subconscious. And you're supposed to see conscious behavior as well as subconscious behavior in adulting, in this corporate workforce, in this corporate programming, in your own conscious programming, and the programming conscious of your said peers. And you show emotional vulnerability, like I said in a few videos ago, that's no different than a shark smelling blood in the water. You have no self-control over your emotions. That's what you're showing me. And guess what? I'm going to control them. I'm just going to find out how to, so I can bypass said peers' idiosyncratic nonsense. That's why you get into individuals' emotional vulnerabilities, to bypass their idiosyncratic nonsense. Not to take advantage of them, not to manipulate them. That's what they're thinking. That's their consciousness thinking that they're being manipulated, they're being taken advantage of. No, my said peer, I'm just asking you something, and if you the one that takes it the wrong way, that's on you taking it the wrong way. I'm not going to get into cahoots about you taking what I ask you the wrong way. Maybe you could ask me to clarify about said command imperative, and then I will respectfully clarify it to you. At the same time, if I say an imperative and you nonchalantly don't do it, guess what? Game on. Game on. Game on. Because that means that you're not willing to listen to me. At the same time, you're contemptuously vulnerable to me influencing you. Why are adult individuals so vulnerable to their emotions nowadays? Well, let me tell you why. And this is what I've learned in this past few minutes, that there's a lot of people, a lot of the social peers, a lot of the gregarious peers, a lot of the peers that have peers around them, they have a whole bunch of peers around them. One of the reasons why that they have a whole bunch of peers around them is that when they get by themselves, they can't stand being by themselves. They can't stand being by themselves. Why they can't stand being by themselves? Because this is activated like unto a radio. To bring it full circle. The flesh, this flesh has its consciousness. This flesh has a mind of its own. I said a few videos ago. And this flesh is also a radio transmitter. Primarily, the brain is a radio transmitter. Yes, this flesh is a radio transmitter. A satellite radio transmitter that sends as well as receives. And what grown adults don't realize is that everything that you experience in your waking consciousness, your subconsciousness takes it up. So whatever you don't pay attention to in your in your waking consciousness, your subconsciousness takes it. So for example, as I'm talking to you, there's cars passing by me because I'm in the park right now. I'm in one of the parks right now. Fuck you, Town, Fort Worth, Texas represent. Even though I'm talking to you consciously and being aware of my surroundings consciously, although I'm not paying attention to said cars that are passing by, my subconscious notices those cars said passing by. And noticing that your subconscious pick up everything picks up even the little stuff that you experience. Even me rubbing against the side of my car. My subconsciousness is registering the feeling of the metal of the car, and my hands feeling the metal of the car and the little dust off the car as well. My subconsciousness is picking up all of that. And with that being said, this is why, for me, in the corporate grind, that I am at a corporation to where I have full hearing consciousness, have full independent hearing consciousness. I do not work at workforces or work at places where there is a radio going on in the background. I do not work at workforces, or I have an aversion to working at workforces that have background noise or radios in the background, radios that have some type of music on that I don't prefer to listen to. But that's a part of the corporate psychology of the workforce. All the corporations done did they psychology research on how you, the employee, is supposed to keep your mind locked in the workforce. They've already done all the psychology research. So you have to do the psychology research on yourself in order to not be influenced by the corporation, because the corporation influences you every single day. Every time you go in, from the time that you clock in, the time that you clock out, the corporations is influencing you. My last video talking about rising up the corporate programming, that was about, I'm seeing on Facebook, 15 likes. I haven't checked my TikTok and other social medias, but specifically Facebook had 15 likes and only 15 views, and only one like. Excuse me. Sorry about that. 15 views and one like. And one like was from one of my family members. Appreciate you. At the same time, you got 15 other adults who's in the corporate grind, and it don't matter to me about your likes and your views. You've been in the corporate grind, or my peers been in the corporate grind for as long as I have, and if they're complicit to the corporate programming, that's on them. That's on them if they want whatever corporation that they're complicit to, that they're loyal to take their mind. In conclusion, even though woke is dead, quote unquote, individuals like me have never went asleep. And what does woke mean to me? Woke is me being awoke to the programming. Awoke to a programming that's been going on before you've been around and before I've been around, that's wanting to take your mind, number one, and want to program you to what it wants to program you, number two. That's what the Matrix is. And it's on all the time. You want to know an ABC Do Re Mi version of the psychological operation, what I'm talking about? Advertisement. Advertisement taking all the business jargon out of it and putting it on a psychological deal. Advertisement is the psychological operation of how to get people to buy products. You're not going to willfully buy a product. No, that a product has to be appealing to you or satisfies a use in your household. And three, influences you on buying impulse to buy said product. So it has to appeal to your personal niche, number one, advertise the ad of whatever it's being added. Number two, it has to satisfy a use, a utility in your household, number two. And number three, it has to influence you impulsively. and grown adults want to be unconscious to that programming, stay unconscious. That's your mind. That's the let me rephrase that. That's the mind of those who are complicit to the corporate programming, that don't mind the corporation taking their mind every single day that they clock in. But you, as well as I, have been in the corporate workforce long enough. At the same time, we've been attuned to our consciousness long enough to know that we are in this corporation, we are not of this corporation. We are in this reality, but we are not of this reality. We rise above the matrix, rise above the programming. That's what woke is. That's what staying high above the matrix is. All right, going on 16 minutes, people. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I got some stuff to do as well before I get back on the clock. I appreciate you watching me and this work-life project balance. I'm doing my best this year in order to show you, the viewer, that I'm serious about the project and serious about the big sub-projects of the Original Geek Nerd social media project that I want to get to you soon and very soon. I'm just refining my work-life project balance. It best believe it is difficult. At the same time, I make it look easy, and I'm just going to continue to refine it so it can be better for my work as well as for your viewership. Appreciate y'all. Keep your vibrations high. Peace out. See you later.